What's going on, YouTube? The Last Musketeer here. Excited to bring you part 3 of the Arknights free-to-play Is It Worth It series. So what I decided to do for these is, instead of giving you a really long video, I decided to cut it down into 2 parts. That way they're both moderate length, because I didn't realize just how much content I had gone through and how much I needed to talk about in these actual part 3 of this series. So you're going to get 2 videos, hopefully that makes it better so you don't have to sit there and listen to me drone on for 30 minutes about whatever I saw, whatever I did, and maybe it'll make it an easier experience. But I'm going to start out showing you just me doing Vanguard and chip farming, because it's kind of essential to know what heroes I was using early on, and also to show kind of the placement and just how fast they're able to go through these waves. So the thing about it is, as I've been playing, I'm noticing a drastic change in the amount of content that I'm able to complete, because obviously they're higher level now going forward, because I made a ton of progress in that sense, but I'm finding that my failure rate has gone down exponentially, and that's the great thing about a blind run. I don't know the meta, I don't know the best ways to farm maps, I don't know where to put heroes, so I had to strategize on my own. So the feeling of satisfaction that I get, especially seeing my progress from the start to where I'm at now, is insane. And that's a quick overview of what my heroes look like. But thanks to popular demand, and I say thanks because without you guys recommending Myrtle, I probably would have just kept her unleveled for the longest time, and she has been so extremely useful for every bit of content that I've done. She's so good. I just throw her in the back behind a tank or something so that I don't have to worry about people passing through, and I just farm DP like crazy. So I'm like almost always maxed out on DP partway through the match, so I never have a hard time placing units. But here's an idea of what my Annihilation stuff looked like early on. I did try this. The funny part is I tried both of these before I had even done Chernobog the second time. I tried Chernobog the first like day or two just to see what it looked like, and I gotta say those are way harder overall than Chernobog was. But you'll see me fail many times, because like I said, my selection of strategy, my ideas of how to do things is so bad. I watch myself put operators into the worst situations where they'll get like 2 shots out and then they just get knocked out immediately after. So it's just like a waste of DP, a waste of a unit. And let me go ahead and get this out here. If you see your favorite operator being bullied by my poor decisions, I am very sorry. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to hurt them. I'm just dumb. So do understand, the way I see it and the way things have gone since, my strategy has changed to the point where I'm not just throwing them out as sacrifices as much anymore. There still are times where I make terrible decisions, but at least for the most part, there's a little brain power behind it for me now. Just in this short amount, I can already see things that I was doing wrong. I put Shining in where she can't even reach the left side defense. Luckily it worked out on the stage. And then I throw Skyfire behind, out of reach of any of my healers. I'm literally playing like a bot, but it worked out. And that's the crazy thing about it. Sometimes, even if you go in with the least amount of strategy and the least idea of what you're doing, you can still make progress. The game doesn't punish you that hard, at least until later on. And all the progress I've done is really without hardly any of the meta units. I may have a couple of them that would be considered meta. Like I said, I don't know tier lists. I'm just kind of going off my own perception of what the skill looks like. But it just goes to show just how much they offer, and also the events offering free 5 stars just from clearing some of the content is one of the coolest aspects. Because you not only get them, you can also raise their potential. So if you wanted to, if you do enough during the event, you can get a free 5-star, fully max their potential if you like them a lot. Granny, however you say it, I'm probably not going to work on her. I can see where she might have her uses, but I have so many different options for Vanguard currently that I've been working on that I don't want to waste the resources by putting too much into one specific class. And going into the Lingering Echoes event, the last place we had got to was LE4, and as you can see from here, when I was still trying it early on in the week, I was still getting destroyed, even with support units. Didn't matter what I did, so I decided to try to work on a new healer, because Hibiscus really wasn't doing enough as her role as the harm assist, as I was told, which is a really cool term. I love that title, but Gavial overall is going to be a lot better for me, and I hit level 20, grabbed the pack, because I've been farming a lot of the event to get a lot of the music notes to try to turn them in for stuff, and I go into the banner for Ebonholes, and you know, I wish I had saved more, but I tried to do as many pulls of these because I was fairly close to hitting the pity, so I wanted to try to at least pull a 6-star, so I wish I'd saved for the current event, but I'm not necessarily disappointed overall. But I go into the credit store, buy Honeyberry out of there, and she is really cool because she's a healer that focuses on elemental damage, which comes into play a little bit later, though I don't level her up yet. Now, as far as regular campaign, I was stuck on 3-7, and then I realized those blocks didn't just have to be in the long pathways, they could push out from other spots, and I could use them to funnel all the enemies into the same line, so it made that one extremely easy once I figured that out. Now, 3-8, on the other hand, was an absolute nightmare. Now, do understand, the hatred I feel for Skull Shatterer is astronomical. And yet, I'm also thankful, because without Skull Shatterer, I wouldn't have understood a lot of the core mechanics of the game. Because after I figured out how to actually beat this stage, I understood a lot more when it came to keeping my operators safe, keeping them alive as long as possible, while kiting around heroes or working around heroes. The basis of not just throwing things out because I have the option to, and kind of panicking after things go awry, but understanding that it doesn't always matter to have certain units out. Maybe you can use less to do more, just based on how you place things. So I am thankful for that, and it was a great map overall. Very frustrating, but a great map. But we go back to Lingering Echoes after I had been bullied out of 3-8, and so I beat LE4. I didn't record that for some reason, but then I beat LE5. Both of them I had 2-starred. But beating LE5 got me my free 5-star from the event, and it was a defender named Zerny. And while he seems pretty decent, he seems like more of a niche use because he has better resistance against like elemental type. So I don't know that I'll use him for a while, but he'll probably have his uses later on. My goal was here to try to 3-star LE4 so that I could potentially farm it a decent amount for music notes, because I was still having a hard time pushing. Strategy was still a bit beyond me on stages, but I didn't win this one. I see a lot of mistakes that I've already made, but I threw this one in here because A, I wanted to show off a support unit in Surtur, and B, I did eventually beat it. But I did want to say that the guard class is probably my favorite class in the game, and looking at Surtur's kit, she looks absolutely insane, and I'd love to get that unit, though there are a decent amount of 6-stars, so unless it comes on a banner or comes in the commendation shop, I probably won't be able to get her for quite a while, unless I get lucky. But I use one of my headhunting tokens I got with the music notes to pull, and I got Hibiscus the Purifier again. Not the 5-star I wanted to see, but it is a 5-star nonetheless, so extra commendation tickets. But I use the extra music notes that I'd been saving up, and I grinded these levels a lot because I wanted to try to get as much out of as I could. A lot of the stuff I couldn't use, so my main focus was resources, level up resources. I wanted to get as many things I could to upgrade my operators as far as possible, and Popcar is actually one of them I didn't work on until like Monday of the week. So about 2 or 3 days in, I'm already I started working on her, and then I took her straight up because I realized just how good she was overall. Catapult and AoE range, not the best, but still helpful to have AoE because I just had way too many single targets, and if you put yourself in that box, it's hard to get out of. I also tried to work on Stewart a little bit just because I needed a single target caster, and he was cheap. Now, with the Monday reset, I got a token and unlocked the Stolfera event, and I have to say, this is one of the most beautiful events I've seen so far. This is so well made, and it looks like they put a lot of time into this. And really, I got to see an introduction to the actual elemental damage part of the game. So I don't know how long it'd be till I see that in a regular campaign, but at least at this point I'm starting to see it, and so it's a cool little feature, and it adds even more strategy to the game. And that's where it comes in with the more niche people, like the healers like Honeyberry, or defenders that have elemental resistance. It's very cool to see these extra aspects of the game, and so unlocking these events and being able to play them helps to add more strategizing and prep for future tasks that I would have to deal with in regular events. Somebody in the comments, if you played when this event first launched, if you could let me know if there's a reasoning behind this one in specifics, why it seems so much more fleshed out than some of the other events. Not the other ones are bad, because I think they're really good. They've all been good so far. It's just this one seems like it has so much more to it and has so much more love put into it. I figured there might be a reason behind that, so if somebody could let me know in the comments, that'd be great. But the artwork has been beautiful. The story is really, really well put together, and I was just loving it. I haven't finished it, obviously, but I'm progressing quite well in it. Now, it's going to flash by pretty quick, but I did end up beating 3-8. I didn't record the first half because I thought I was going to lose it, and I tried to only record it when I was going to beat it. And so, in the middle of getting super excited about finally doing it, I switched over real quick, recorded it, and got it through. So 3-8 is done. So I unlocked Chapter 4, unlocked Integrated Strategies, which I'm waiting on because I don't think I'm ready for that yet. And we'll see what we can do from here, guys. But I did go and pull on the Ebonholes banner with one headhunting piece, and I got the thing. I was close to the pity anyway, and I pulled Mustima, not Ebonholes, but I'm not mad because she's an AoE caster, and I really needed that over Skyfire because she has not been, she doesn't scale that great, but Mustima's been awesome. But that's going to end this half of the video, guys. I'll try to have the next one out a little bit later, but I'll see you there. Peace.